in the world to have on the show today, and that's my good friend Indigo Angel. And tonight we're going to be getting pretty deep into some serious stuff, guys. We're going to be talking about the Stargate 10 extension in Minnesota, like it's like a corruption decode. So this is going to be, this could, trigger some people, but it's also very needed as to like what's going on in Minnesota because it's a little, I think we're at a boiling point, and people are looking for answers as to what's going on. And with that said, we have Beth Noyes coming on from Minnesota, and she's going to do a whole satanic breakdown, and then we have Missy Hill coming on too to provide her insights. So it's going to be awesome. So a little bit more about my guest. Indigo Angel is a grid worker, esoteric researcher, author, and analyst known for decoding Earth grids, Stargate systems, and the hyperdimensional disturbances. Her work centers on planetary architecture, Hyperborean timelines, and corruption signatures that appear within grids when grids destabilize. She is renowned for producing detailed map breakdowns that connect ley lines, geopolitics, ancient bloodlines, and occult power structures. Tonight, Indy will decode what she describes as the Islamic arm of Stargate 10 extending into Minnesota, showing how corruption portals may be opening through grid breaches. She will also break down maps, planetary intersections, and timeline distortions linked to recent chaotic events in the region. And then we have Beth Noyes coming on. Beth is a Minnesota native and returning guest, is known for her research into satanic activity, occult influence, and entity hijacking in the Midwest. She has shared a chilling testimony of hidden networks embedded within communities and how individuals can be energetically compromised or ridden by non-human forces. Tonight, Beth will provide on-the-ground insight into what's unfolding in Minnesota and present evidence of entity interference and satanic activity in Minnesota. And then we have Missy Hill coming on too. Missy Hill is a multidimensional experiencer, paranormal historian, and conspiracy researcher and grid worker with decades of deep dive exploration into metaphysics, esoteric timelines, and geopolitical occultism. Missy will offer her analysis on the energetic, astral, and psychological layers at play, connecting the corruption signatures in Minnesota to global and grid distortions and spiritual warfare patterns as mapped for years. And, so this is going to be pretty awesome, guys. And and the other ladies are going to come on in a little bit, but me and Indy are going to go for a little bit until the other ladies come on. But yeah, Indy, thanks so much for coming back on. How are you?
I'm doing really good, Rob, and I'm excited to be here and get into this topic deep dive with you and with Beth and with Missy. And I really like how we staggered the flow of this show tonight because I think it's going to be nice to break up each kind of pocket of information that we're going to get into. I'm going to cover, me and you are going to cover more of like the foundation of what's kind of happening there. We're going to look at the extension of that Stargate 10 arm and how it's kind of, expanding like the spike matrix. It's expanding rips and tears in the space-time continuum, and it's like putting a lot of grid pressure over here in the United States. And so, and then we're going to get Beth's perspective, which, she's boots on the ground. So, I
Yeah,
mean, there's not like, that's like gold right there, right?
yeah.
And then Missy and, her perspective as well is always really good. She ties a lot of things in too. So, yeah, this is really significant. I think we need to look at, what's kind of sparked all this off, what's the beginning points of a lot of this. And it's because, as everyone knows that's watching, that's kind of paying attention right now, there is an intensified federal immigration enforcement that they're doing there, specifically in Minneapolis and St. Paul. And what they're doing is they're kind of sending out large-scale deployments of ICE officers, which is activating lots of protest. And there's been multiple, I guess you consider high-profile shootings that have happened with the federal agents. And since these shootings have happened, there's been some, massive backlash, and scrutiny, and also like legal conflicts. And so this is really concentrated around the Somalian community, as you've heard about the daycare fraud and the Leering centers that was exposed by Nick Shirley. He kind of was one of the reporters who, he's really cool. He's like this young guy, that like just went out there. He's like a citizen journalist, and he just kind of, followed the trail and everything, and it's exposed $19 billion in fraud.
Yeah.
And so, that has been stirring and, that's spreading. They're finding fraud in other states. California specifically is being now exposed for hospice fraud. So this is like a never-ending trail. I think we're just waking up to deeper and deeper levels of,
Well, didn't Elon's team find a whole bunch of corruption in the entire government, like everybody that was taking back payouts and stuff, a bunch of politicians?
yeah, that's right. It definitely started with Doge.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Well, I think it's waking us up to the corruption of it and how extensive it truly goes, and I think there has been a lot of contention since the whole war in Israel and Gaza as well over sparked all this uh, what's basically the holy wars. The holy wars are raging. There's a huge underlying fear reality around the fact that there's a lot of division between Islam and Christianity. In a sense that, the whole Nigerian thing with Christians were getting slaughtered over there. And we have, like an Islamic agenda over here in the United States. And a lot of this extends from the war in the Middle East. So, I mean, there's a lot of underlying things that have kind of been rising to the surface. And I think this has brought a lot of the attention to the Somalian immigration, because um, they've kind of been under the radar. This whole Somalian immigration has gone under the radar. And so I think that's also getting exposed, like what a large scale immigration operation happened in Minnesota with the Somalians.
Yeah.
Nobody really kind of knew about this, I don't think. You know, y'all Minnesotans weren't letting us know what was going on up there.
Well,
Um,
it's kind of been on every conservative, like they've been kind of calling it out a little bit. It's like if you go on Rumble, it's kind of all over Rumble. It's like but it's I know what you mean. It's not in the
yeah,
mainstream. It's not being
yeah,
yeah
yeah, that's for sure. Well, it is now, but
yeah
before it wasn't. And when you look at, that extension arm of SS10, we kind of go back to obviously the Middle East. We go back to, um, you know, the actual SS10, which is Abadan, Iran. And of course, this, comes through particular religious ideologies, this extension of this. And so, Somalia is an Islamic country. It's an Islamic nation. And it's in the Horn of Africa. It's at that tip, and that's a that's some aggressive energy down there. There's piratism. They're literally living right on the African Rift, the Somalians. I
yeah
mean, and I've talked about how the land consciousness defines the consciousness of the people. And they're dealing with some deep forms of separation, just according to their point of origin. They're living next to the most, I guess you could say, advanced underwater Orion Stargate systems in the Gulf of Aden. Those are the most brutal waters on the planet. Um, so, and according to the administration, they don't have governance technically. Like it's more ran by barbarism. So I mean, it's interesting, like so that underlying current is definitely being brought over to Minnesota. If you talk about the extension of that and these SS10 arms that are popping up, through SS10 types. Fraud would be a behavior of an SS10 type, to be honest with you, just to kind of throw that out there. So is lying, so is stealing, cheating, you know, aggressive survival by any means necessary. You know, uh, and there is an underlying ideological advancement of other political agendas that we know follow along with the SS10 framework of things. So, for me, that's I kind of what I'm looking at when I'm talking about all this is the underlying frequency, the underlying reality, and the underlying currents that are coming to this corridor point in Minnesota, this point of contention where you see the merging of wickedness, you see the merging of darkness, you see the merging of evil. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it like that because we know that there is a huge satanic element to all of this. Okay. That is what it's at the core of SS10. You know what I mean? If you want to go down to the gates and the pits of the underworld and just open up extension arms over into our country, like we're going to see the exposure of this and it's going to start tying those similar like-minded frequencies, magnetic frequencies together. And that's exactly what we're seeing, a conglomeration of hatred.
Yeah.
And these groups breaking up into two and we know what groups are sticking together. Like it's a lot of the leftists and the liberals. It's the SS10 types. It's the illegal immigrant uh, freedom ideology act. I'm just gonna make some stuff up. Okay, and like it's also everyone who's backing this, George Soros. Like you said the other day, Rob, George Soros' son. Um,
And it's the ACLU too. It's the ACLU.
uh-huh. You said
Like people,
that.
people think the American Civil Liberties Union is a good thing, but like it's actually they're actually funding. They're funding some of the Antifa, from what I heard.
Yep. Yep. And Antifa is teaming up as well, like you said, um and yeah, and it's breeding hatred and violence.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous that this Antifa exists and it's a Soros-backed thing, and that they can actually like go there and cause all this like disruption and chaos in Minnesota when like these ICE agents are just trying to do their job, which is basically get the people that are illegal out of our country. Because the people, let me tell you guys, the people that are illegal that are in here, I'm sure there might be some good ones that want to work and do, but like a lot of these people, like Trump said, are like drug lords. They're like they don't they're military age men. They were brought here obviously for a reason, and that wasn't anything good. You know what I mean? That's what I think. I think it's an under. You could even look towards the Biden administration as to like why. And you guys know me, I'm neutral about things. Like I stay pretty. I lean conservative, but I'm neutral. But this is just stuff that I've learned that like like that this is why they're here. And it's not then that yeah, sorry, go ahead,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I'm just following along with what you're saying. Like, um, it's really, really deep, honestly, what's happening. And I can see it's definitely having a lot of ripple effects and a lot of waves. And it's impacting our whole country. At the end of the day, it really is. I think something we talked about was that it's honestly getting ridiculous at this point. You
So,
know,
I just want to say this real quick. I'm just going over the chat because I don't know. Hopefully, can you see the chat on your end? Like, is
oh
it?
my gosh, yeah, I need to look.
Kelly Hughes says, "I still blame Biden for all this." You would be right in that. That would be correct. You would be correct, Kelly Hughes. Like, I would say it was definitely the Biden administration. Maybe backed by George Soros. You know.
Yeah. Well, I think Biden alone with the auto pen let in like 25 million into the country. I think that was the number.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a lot.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
like the ICE
and
agents are trying.
unvetted and unchecked.
Yeah, like so the ICE agents, it seems like are trying to do their job just to get the people who are not supposed to be here out of here, and
Yep.
then you have Antifa people, trying to, cause beef and cause problems, and it's really unneeded, and what I think this boils down to from an esoteric perspective is it, and Beth's going to come on and talk about this, is like a satanic agenda. I think, a lot of these people that are causing these problems, like that are Antifa, they're hijacked by entities. So absolutely, for sure, because we have to go into the woo on this show. I hate politics, really, I do. I love more talking more about the woo, but like that's what I think is going on. I think Beth's right now on the head that there's something satanic going on, and these people are hijacked. And it kind of goes into what you say about the Stargate 10 types, like probably already being hijacked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well, we have a couple minutes before Beth comes in. Why don't I just share my map really quick? Because I'll probably pull that down. But I want to
Dora
just
the
kind of,
Explorer.
yeah, let's go. Oh, wait, I have to send the request.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I that was kind of
No, I know. I think I sang the song last time we got on, actually.
yeah.
Okay.
You're always with your maps. I love it though. It's cool.
We need the visuals, it helps us a lot. I think what was really significant was they call okay, hang on. They call like the Twin Cities or something like that, Minnesota Twin Cities. Isn't that what they're called? They're
Yeah, yeah, they're the Twin Cities. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, so I was thinking of this twinning reflection that's going on, and I think honestly, who St. Paul, which is the administration area of Minnesota, I think they're twinning with Mogadishu, Somalia, their national capital. So what I did was I just kind of drew a line from St. Paul and then down to uh, Mogadishu, which is the capital. This
yeah,
one here. And what I found was I think it's very interesting when we talk about the SS10 extension arm. Of course, SS10 is going to govern this entire region, right? I mean,
yeah,
everything in this region is a part of the governance of SS10. So that would include Somalia. Um, Now, if you follow it over, uh, it's hitting other places where SS10 types are currently, in their agenda of uh, immigrating and not really assimilating. It's more so an invasion. And they're coming in and taking over certain cities and expanding their communities and getting their people in high levels of government because this is about a political takeover, right? So,
yeah.
but
And then
it's
you got
interesting.
Ilhar Omar. What is her
Yeah,
name?
Ilhan
Alien
Omar.
Omar. Yeah. And
Hmm.
didn't she do like a Jesse Smollett type thing recently?
Yeah, that's right. So she staged her own assassination. If anyone caught that, there was they had like a crazy looking white guy in the front row and squirted some liquid on her. I guess that smelled really bad, and she acted like she was gonna go hit the guy. And then her security people tackled him down to the ground. And then the lady in the back is telling her to go to the hospital and to go get herself checked, and something smells really bad. And she's like pulling a whatever you just said. Uh, what's it called? A
Yeah,
Jesse something.
Jesse Smollett. You remember he faked it. He faked his he faked his beating, and he tried to say it was a racial thing, but then everybody found out it was fake.
Yeah, that's basically, she had her little moment where, she had her go fight fight moment where she's like, this guy's not gonna take me down. And it's just like we are so over her. I'm sorry, but we are over
Yeah.
Ilhan
I,
Omar.
I don't even think she should be in the position she's in. You know what I mean? Like, what are her credentials besides being, you know what I mean, being like foreign, and like,
Yeah.
and that's not a credential, is what I'm saying. I was being sarcastic. You know what I mean? I'm saying they probably put her in because of that reason. You know?
Yeah. But the point I'm trying to make is, okay, let's talk about everywhere SS10 has leached itself in through the fabric of the United States. Definitely in Paterson, New Jersey. Okay,
Yeah.
Paterson, New Jersey, Philadelphia, um, Hamtramck, Michigan, Chicago. These are all places where there's like high population cities, just like Somalians, but other SS10 type communities that have essentially expanded. And Dearborn, Michigan, it goes right through Dearborn, Michigan. Don't you find that interesting, Rob, that
Well,
ley
Dearborn,
line?
Michigan's like the capital of this SS. It's like
Dearborn,
the
Michigan is the
capital.
capital of SS10. Absolutely. Don't you think that's interesting that all these places are riding along this ley line down to the capital of Somalia?
That's really interesting.
It's
Yeah.
very interesting. So what is going on over here? Do you know what I'm saying? There's some sort of power line here. Maybe it's some sort of infiltrated ley line, where they could be hitting us with some sort of, you know, bioweapon. They could be funneling energy off of the black cube of Mecca, an extension arm of the spike matrix that's ripping through, and allowing it to seed into the timelines, allowing it to seed into the fabric of our society. So, that's interesting. I mean, that was, to me, that's something to definitely take note of. And when I was telling you earlier about the hard energies here, I mean, this right here, this point, this is where the African rift opens up from the ground, and that is an opening or a gateway into the black hole system, into the black cube. Okay, like literally into all of the inner earth mechanics that tie us into all of the fallen realms and worlds and systems. So I think this is some sort of parasitic breach.
Somebody in
Um,
the chat, Dr. Heaton asked, what is SS10? SS10 is Stargate 10. Do you want to just go over that again real quick so people know? Like, so, yeah, I mean, I know we went over, like some
Well,
people are kind of new to like, you know what I mean? I'm sorry.
yeah. Stargate 10 is a hijacked Stargate on the planet. It was basically relocated from the Temple Mount, or Mount Herman. I know one of those two places was the original location, and then it has to do with the invasion in this planet, the original invasion from Lyra, the original Electric Wars, and when Draco came in and kind of, um, invaded this Earth, that it ripped through SS10. This was the descendancy point. This is where the fallen angels occurred. This is where the Nephilim occurred. So it's tied to the darkest history, on this planet, basically, and the agendas within that, the evil satanic agendas, because that's what SS10 is. Because, when the Dracos ripped through SS10, they were the first groups to take covenants with evil. They're the first groups to take covenants with what we would call the Antichrist. So it is about wickedness. It's about prey versus predator. It's about king of terrorism, king of tyranny. It's about domination, forced domination and subjugation. Um,
And so, but they really subjugate their women too. It's kind of horrible, you know?
yeah. So I mean, this is and it's a part of humanity. It's a part of our hybridization traumas and our hybridization wounds. Um, and so, it's tough because it's hard to see that reflection within certain cultures and groups. And it's not kind to kind of cast that shadow onto others type of thing. But, you know, when you have an extension arm that's like going into your own backyard, and they're setting up little black cube matrices and societies and villages and communities, and they're funneling the money that they fraudulently take and back to their terrorist groups, Al Shabaab. You know,
Yeah.
we
And,
gotta look
and
at
let's
we
be
gotta look at
clear,
all this. We have to look at all of this. Yeah.
Indy, they don't
Yeah.
want to, so you got to make this clear. They don't want to assimilate either. They come here to try to subjugate us. Like they're not trying to assimilate into our culture. Like our parents and their parents, they all came to America and they assimilated into the culture and they became American and they learned the language. Like that's the problem with a lot of these illegals. They don't want to assimilate into our culture. They want to enforce their culture on us, and we don't want anything to do with it. You know what I mean? Because this is America at the end of the day. I don't know. Does that make any sense or no?
I think multiculturalism could be a beautiful thing, but unfortunately, there are certain cultures that are just they weren't the fundamentals of their belief systems isn't rooted in life. It's rooted in death.
That's what I'm saying. Like America's already multicultural and it is beautiful. We have so many different races and ethnicities. I'm talking about the people that come here illegally that do not want to assimilate into
Oh,
our,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely. Yeah. I mean, you have to preserve the heritage. You have to preserve the culture because if you don't, you know, it's a numbers game at the end of the day. It's a numbers game over who believes what. And if we don't stay together in unity and share similar culture and values and respect and that's peace, truth, and liberty has to be fought for. It's not something that is just handed over for free. Like we all live off of the blood of our ancestors and those who fought for America, our founding fathers. And everybody that has, sent their children off to military, and off to war to defend the nation.
Yeah, like I'll just tell you, like my dad was a Vietnam vet. My grandfather was a POW in World War II. So my family's like very military.
Yeah.
So I'm like a kind of like a patriot at heart.
Yeah. And yeah, I think we're all waking up to, I think the bigger agendas that are happening. One of the things I kind of got with Somalia that it was like a diaspora, um, that they were like moving. There's some sort of movement of these people out intentionally, so that way they could get some sort of narrative control. Obviously, voters and voter fraud. And yeah, so it's quite a bit, but really a lot of this I think kicked up. I think this got really bad because January 7th there was the killing of Renee Good, and that was definitely a flashpoint of all of this. And
Was
then
that the woman
also,
that tried to run the ICE officer over?
yes, yes. Now she's not the only one. Some of the other ones, I guess, that have been shot as well. Another one was trying to run them over in the car. And I'm just gonna, I'm gonna say this like this is how I explain it to my daughter. Like if the neighbors were fighting, okay, and the cops got called, and you didn't agree that the cops got called on the neighbors and they're having to now deal with that, because they did something wrong, but you feel like what they did wasn't wrong, would you go over and fight the cops for the neighbors? Would you put
No.
yourself at risk? Would you put yourself in harm? It's kind of like common sense. A lot of these people are kind of lacking, and I don't want to say that, nobody should, obviously have their life taken. Like that's just obviously the most horrible thing to ever happen. It's such the last consequence you think would ever would happen,
Yeah.
but I mean, you also probably shouldn't be doing that. Like there's other ways you have to fight it through the system. You have to fight it, I guess, legally. I mean, you can't fight it illegally. So if they don't like ICE and the immigration laws, and I think maybe the immigration laws somehow, some way need to be reformed to some degree,
Yeah.
but I mean, again, um, yeah, a lot of people are doing things they shouldn't be. A lot of people are making mistakes.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the message I had was I think we need to I mean, I told you, I was like, if you know someone that's like out there doing this stuff, like maybe you should talk some sense into them,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, I think where Beth is going to go with it is a really important perspective to have because there is a whole satanic energy behind all of this.
Yeah. There she comes. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Hey, Beth.
Hi guys. Yeah, I'm totally coming, talking to you guys today just as a citizen, a nurse, mom. I've lived in Minnesota since 91. I work at a hospital here where a majority of our staff is African, Somalian, and most of all the people I've talked to are supportive of ICE, all the Africans. They're like,
Yeah.
we have our
Wow.
paperwork. We're not doing anything wrong. I said, get there. So it's it's not like the brown people aren't saying, oh, get them out. No, they're like, get the illegals out. But that's first and foremost.
And,
And
and Beth, it's I think they're targeting people who are like criminals too, right?
criminals, right?
It's like I
They're
think
not
Trump made
criminals.
that clear, like and I'm not trying to back Trump or any. I don't want people to say that I love Trump or something like that. I'm just saying, like he stated that he wanted to get the criminals out, the people that are like
Right.
drug lords that are like causing all the problems, those illegals, and that they don't want to assimilate either, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, like downtown, there's no English in their section of downtown. It's all Somalian. Our state flag was turned to the Somalian flag,
See,
you know,
I'm sorry. I mean, I think
and
that's
we're just all like,
absolutely
okay,
insane. This isn't
what?
Mogadishu. This is America. It's Minneapolis. You know what I
I
mean?
know we do
Like,
call it Little Mogadishu, though. That's what everyone calls it. It's no gozo but my point is not to, because I live here and they're my neighbors. I
yeah,
gotta,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
And
and
I'm going to say to everybody, like, I'm part Lebanese, like, and I'm not
yeah.
a racist or anything like that. I just don't like when people come to our country illegally and they commit crimes and then you know what I mean? Like, I
Oh,
don't.
I hear you.
I really
But I
love
would,
what you just said, though. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I really love what you just said that they are not they have their papers so they know they're fine. They don't care
right,
that ICE is there,
not at
like
all.
and that is the thing. Like if you are legal and you shouldn't be scared of anything.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
we have this God complex, white liberal women have a God complex where we need to save people. And the people are like, we don't need to be saved, please. So it's more the liberals that are going out there getting angry because they think that they're saving somebody that's lower than them. And that's kind of racist, in my opinion. If you're going as the superior trying to help the lower, I'll probably get yelled at for that, but that's just my opinion.
No,
And
you're
then
absolutely right, Beth. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, because they can
Yeah.
fight for themselves. They're like, I don't need this. I don't need this. But we did have some peaceful candlelight visuals yesterday. The nurses union went out there to remember Alex Preddy, who was an ICU nurse. So they did do it, and that was peaceful. And so there was some good, nice, appropriate,
That's
uh,
good. You know what
respects
though,
were
this
paid.
brings up though, this brings up when you say these like, privileged white liberal women that want to go out there and protest this and get
Sorry.
involved. And but it's like we have to think about the programming. Like these are a lot of people that are anti-American and they're also anti-white culture. They're hateful to their own race and to their own culture. And that's something that has kind of been programmed to a lot of people in the United States. Like we've been told that our ancestors are colonizers and our ancestors they stole this land and we've done no good and we're bad, we're bad, we're bad. So it's like on some level, I do have understanding to maybe where some of their anger and victimization comes from and also like brainwashing, because it's like you can still love your own culture and not, diminish someone else's culture or their
Yeah,
race or,
exactly.
and to not
I
let it go
find their
into,
culture fascinating.
yeah,
Yeah,
like to
it's
not be so
fascinating.
prideful. And, so that's just the thing I see is that it's like the liberals need like some therapy. Like that's
Here's
what,
the thing that with the liberals last year, no, I mean, with the First Amendment thing, this is where I was going. They um, every summer on the solstice at our state capitol in St. Paul, Minnesota, the state capital there, we have I forgot which Church of Satan, but the Church of Satan, and it has like a loon as its picture and an inverted pentagram, and they have a Baphomet. They're allowed because of freedom of religion to have a satanic ritual in our state capital, and that's on the solstice. And then not too long after that, there were some what do you call them? It was the Democrat people that were mad at Trump said there needs to be blood. We need to go out. We need you to get shot. And there was a big news article, like maybe that was not the right wording, like go out there and may there be blood. And it's like, so you have the satanic ritual, then you have the spilling of blood. And also, if you think about it, the Mississippi River starts in Minnesota and divides the land. It divides the land. So this is all division.
Mhm.
It's sowing dark tendrils. I mean, I've seen people on the right say some pretty ridiculous, hateful things, and people on the left saying absolutely. It's just they're dividing. And I think right now we need to unify and
Beth, can I ask you a
break.
question? Do you think do you think they're hijacked? Do you think a lot of people are hijacked?
For sure. For sure, they
That's
don't
what I
know I don't
thought.
care. You can buy a police vest on Amazon and police tape, and you can go out there and LARP and be a cop.
Yeah.
You can
No, I mean like
buy.
entity hijacked, like because like the
Oh,
satanic stuff going on. So I was
yeah.
thinking maybe
So
people are like like entity possessed or something.
I've
Entity.
seen it in old ladies as a nurse in the hospital. Last week I was working, and I won't get into too much because of HIPAA, but an older lady that would have been alive during the 60s who did protests, a good lady, and she said, she looked at me and she goes, if I could, I would be down there right now, sitting in the middle of it all. And she looked, I'm like, you're an old lady. And, and she's like, so it's like this, and I don't know if it's because she was hippie, but, you
Yeah.
know, these other people are just getting their eyes shift. Like
Mm.
when they
Yeah.
start talking, like you can be talking about something else and you bring that up and you just see like red or black come up and then they're just like in our break room, if someone brings it up, it's just like, something comes over them, Agent Smith pops up, I don't know, and you get attacked, for
Wow.
being rational.
Wow.
Um, Yeah, but that satanic thing kind of blew my mind. And the other thing I've been noticing more are jinn. Do you guys know what jinn are?
Yeah, that's a Middle East, which would tie directly into Stargate 10, which was the
Yes.
Indy
I'm not
talked
saying
about.
that
So
the Somalians really believe in the jinn, and I don't know if it's an egregore or what's going on, but we're seeing jinn in our hospital. I had a patient that it took like 6 nurses to get this person under control. And then we had to babysit this person, and they had a hood around. They were Somalian, that's all I'll say, a male. He had a hood around him, and he was nonverbal and just shaking like this. And I walked up to him and I looked him in the eyes and I felt it jump me. I saw the jinn. And that night I was laying in bed, and I saw this thing. It looked like a gargoyle crouched over up in my left upper corner of my ceiling in
that's
my
where they
bed.
hide too. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I was like crouched over, and I was like, holy shit, it attached to me by looking in his eyes.
wow.
And I was just, and because I didn't know about gin till after the fact, I was like, well, that makes sense. You're not supposed to look, oh my God, I'm an idiot. But I'm seeing, getting back to what the story is here, I'm just saying that it seems like it's ramping up the darkness in
In
all
Minnesota.
religions, all beliefs. Like, so the
Yeah.
jinn are popping up now, and I don't know what it feels like a gremlin type spirit is hopping around, attaching to people, causing chaos, like a Loki type.
You know what this reminds me of is what is breeded at the main SS10 site is the Black Heart virus. I mean, it's very contagious. It's where like hatred just it's like soul possession, but yeah, your heart becomes black and you can't see anything other than wickedness, see wickedness, feel wickedness, speak wickedness. It's a total takeover of your heart, brain, spiritual
It's here.
complex with evil.
It's here.
Yeah.
It's definitely here, and I'm seeing it pop up. It's not all the time where someone's like that, but it'll just turn on. That's wild. I've seen totally sweet people turn into monsters if a trigger is just flipped.
And didn't you say that there was a satanic ritual to tampon Timmy? That there
Yeah,
was
that
like,
was the one that was in the
That's
state
neat.
capitol. That was in the state capitol, and they do it. I don't know if they've been doing it since 2019. Then what popped off in 2020? We had George Floyd, 2020. So 2019 was their first ritual, and then the next year was George Floyd Summer of Love 2020. And I think they do it every year. So the other years probably were fine with COVID and all. But
Mhm.
yeah, and they did it again last year in 2025. And and they gave Tim an award for being so inclusive, and he's in the halls of Satan is what this, I forgot what the plaque is, but he's a friend of Satan is what it says. I have to. I think I don't know if I sent the plaque to Rob, but it's an award with a Baphomet and saying Tim Walz is in the halls of with Satan. Some weird shit.
Yeah, wow, that's really
We can
interesting.
look it up. I'm probably not saying it right, but it's for sure. They gave him an award for being such a great Satanist.
Well, he's another one of those like him and Ilhan Omar seem to want to blame everything on the white man. I mean, that's what they publicly say. It's like I
She's
don't know
married to one,
well, and I don't know if he's conscious that he's also a white man. It's like, are
and she's
you
married to one too, not her brother, the other, her real husband. Yeah,
yeah, so it's just like, you know, it's very strange how they promote like it just seems like, just in general anti-American and how did, t gosh, as we even tune into this guy, I just see like full soul possession. Like he's not even embodied, like he's not even a human being.
and a
Like just yeah,
pedophile.
just tapping
He's
in.
a
I'm getting like
pedophile too.
full reptilian.
They have, well, they have him under such so many things of blackmail. There's pedophilia, with some Boy Scouts that or no, he was a teacher, and there was some inappropriate touching. So what I'm saying is that they have so much blackmail on this guy that he'll do anything. He's just a puppet. He also loves Xi Jinping. He's been to China 10 times.
Yeah, this is probably there is probably some secret donors. Um, besides just the elitists that we know are all involved in this, but yeah, China being one of them, definitely. That a lot of this goes back to China. I think I was hearing something, yeah, with him being connected to China as well. Yeah, and thank you for bringing that up because that
He
really
loved
touched.
the Little Red Book. He collected the Little Red Book.
Mm.
And he visited Tiananmen Square to appreciate it. He appreciated Tiananmen Square. That's where they killed their own protesters.
Oh, wow.
So maybe
Okay.
he's into it feels like he doesn't care that he's egging this on here too, just so you know. He's like, we need to fight harder. You keep standing up for your neighbors. Express your First and Second Amendment rights. So he's basically telling them to bring guns into the area. It's like, no, I mean, yeah, you can, but come on. It- it's too dangerous to have anyone have guns in there.
Yeah, so
But he's like, yeah,
he's telling the like Antifa militias to arm
he's
up.
telling us on the news, on the nightly news, just not to everybody. He's like, you get out there and you fight. And Jacob Fry, yeah, you get out there and First and Second Amendment and don't back down. Trump is bad. It's like,
So do
how
we
can you
know if the
Trump?
Insurrection Act is gonna get invoked and
We'll see what happens over the weekend if things don't start. They did make peace with them. ICE had given a peace offering. I forgot what it was, so we'll see how this goes. No more random stops apparently, and they have warrants for all the ones they're going for. So
Mm.
hopefully over the weekends things chill out, but I think Tim Walz wants it to get bad, in my opinion. The satanic side of him his wife said she loves the smell of burning tires in the morning. That was during 2020. She literally said they like to open the windows and smell the fires of burning tires. It's liberation, is what she said.
Wow.
I find the satanic tie-in very interesting with Detroit and the bankruptcy of Detroit. Now, I feel like there was like a whole satanic thing that happened with that as well, and that there's also Baphomet. Like, I think the largest satanic church is in Detroit, or maybe it's like in Michigan, but it's all along that ley line we were just looking at. And it's like, there's some sort of satanic rite of passage that's being activated there. And it's so interesting. I went to this grocery store like 2 days ago just to pick some stuff up, and the guy who was checking me out had a huge Baphomet and satanic pendant on his neck and was like kept pulling it out and playing with it and making sure I like seen it. And it was just like, that was a sign,
Yeah.
that this is something stirring. And
Yeah, they are being activated. And in defense of most people that consider themselves Satanists, they actually don't even believe the lower ones don't believe in a God. They're atheists. They feel they're God and they try not to do bad things to other people. But that's the low level people, and that's what we tell the everyday folk. The higher ups definitely believe. The ones that are really into the group, they believe in a God, and it's not our God. And they believe in ritual and hurting people.
Yeah, well, even like I listened to an interview with Blanche Barton. She was Antoine LaVey's wife. She was on Art Bell back in the day, and she was even saying they do rituals. Like even though they're like the LaVeyan Satanists or whatever, they still go and do rituals. Like so, it's a weird. I agree. I know what you're saying, but I think they do some stuff too. It's weird. Like I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, because the Satanists here say, well, we're inclusive of all. The Baphomet is a male and a female. So a lot of it's trans stuff. But they're like, we're just inclusive with everything and everyone, but we don't believe in Satan. And I'm like, okay, but your high priestesses do believe in Satan.
Yeah.
So that's why most of the people are just LARPing. I think some of the Satanists are just LARPing, but I know that there's real people that know the magic behind it. It ain't.
Yeah.
And by the people in Minnesota not stepping down, I fought that satanic thing. I wrote letters, I called in, I'm like, I don't consent to that, don't do it. And people, everybody else was like, we're okay with it. It's freedom of,
your high
Missy's on there.
priestesses.
Hi,
Coming through
Missy.
someone's speaker.
It's
Yeah.
Missy.
Most of the people are just LARPing.
Someone has
Some
something
of the
playing in the
statements are just
background.
LARPing.
Missy, I think you're playing the video on. Oh, there you go. It's off now.
But I was gonna say, by not enough people saying, no, I don't consent to this, satanic business and freedom of religion, we consented to the spell it cast.
Yeah.
I did not consent personally, but yeah, overall, it's like, well, they wanted this, and so here it goes. By not saying no, you said yes.
What do you for like being there, boots on the ground? What do you think is gonna happen? What do you just foresee over the next couple weeks or month?
There's
Like,
people flying in. People are flying in. My son just flew back from Colorado. He said it was packed with people coming to the event here. So we're getting the weather's getting warmer, and I see this honestly until ice leaves, then I'll probably just pivot to a different kind of a protest. I see it happening. I see it escalating. Maybe
You know, it's
or
weird.
two.
When Sam Tripoli was on Alex Jones recently, he said he called this. He had a woman that came on his show, which was tinfoil hat, and she said that like after the George Floyd riots, this was going to be the next thing. It was
Yeah.
going to be an immigration war, and he called it, and I couldn't believe that. Like I was like, wow, like it's like. So I do believe in some sense these things are scripted, by the powers that be, or the if you want to call it, I don't know, the Illuminati or whoever's in charge, whoever's really in charge, and they script these things out, and then they have people like George Soros who fund this shit. You know what I mean? He was literally behind it, and also the ACLU. Like that are funding groups like Antifa to go and cause problems. It's crazy. You know.
Yeah, I see it
oh,
getting
well, yeah, you have Antifa, but did you guys hear about Don Lemon? So
yeah,
Don,
he went to our church.
oh my, so he went to your church?
No, it wasn't mine. It's close to our, yeah. So people, parishioners were in church, and Don Lemon and there's kids in there. It was a Sunday church service. They came running in and accusing the pastor of being supportive of ICE, and then the people were yelling at the kids saying, "Your parents are hateful and evil, and they want to see kids taken away from their parents. How would you like it if we took you away from your parents?" And Don Lemon was in there.
Yeah, so I mean that's crazy. They're storming the churches, and I think that's super illegal. And I heard that he just got arrested, like as of
Don
today.
Lemon?
Don Lemon got arrested for it. Yeah.
Good.
So they arrested him in California.
Good. He's an idiot.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's pretty extreme. I think I seen some of the videos of him inside, and he's like, taunting that pastor, and the pastor's like, we're just here to like worship,
And
and
none of the
he kept
men
pushing it
even
and pushing
defended the
it.
church. Like all the people that were in there just sat there and didn't like get mad. They just like took it. They didn't move. They just like took the abuse because they have to, because you know, you can't, if you say anything back, you're a bad person.
Yeah, a lot of people are like God-fearing in a way, and then, a lot of people just probably don't want to
Fight in front of
involve
their
themselves
kids.
in anything. Yeah.
I just sent Missy a message. If she's listening, I think she's in here. I said, Missy, you can join now. I think she can, like, I mean,
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
I'd love to get her perspective
I'm
on
gonna
it.
mute myself in case there's echo.
I don't know if she's there. Or I don't know if she heard.
She just needs to turn on her video. There she is. Hi,
Hey,
I'm
Missy.
here.
Missy,
How you doing?
good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Welcome to the topic of discussion, SS10 extension arm in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yes.
What's your
Yes.
take on it?
Well, I started tuning in from a grid perspective. And when I was listening to you talk, I don't even know what you're talking about, but I started seeing Stargate 2 and how we know that that's been temporarily also moved over to Mar-a-Lago. I see a circulation of the waters, which is the underground aquifer Ludfers, because of the black flowering in Stargate 2. There's actually a circulation that's going up to Lake Superior and to all the waters up above, because, you know, the headwaters of the Great Lakes actually dump down into the Mississippi River, which
It's Lake Itasca, Missy. Lake Itasca is the headwater of Mississippi.
Yeah, exactly. It is,
Yep.
and it travels about 2,000. The elevation of that lake is 1,475 feet, and it travels. It's funny because I started doing this research and you tapped into what I was doing earlier. 2,552 miles down to the Gulf of America or Gulf of Mexico. And there's also part of those tributaries where the Ohio River comes in, and the Ohio River, you know what that's about. There's a lot of those mounds there. So there's contention and also fractures within the land that even go back to the Ice Age. I was talking about that with Rob the other night on the show, how actually Lake Superior is our largest water reservoir on the face of planet Earth, and it shares the same ice as Greenland. Okay. So I was seeing a line from somewhere in Greenland, and Indy will have to get out her scribbles max, going through Duluth, which Duluth is a beautiful area. I'm sure you know that connects to Lake Superior. And we know all the shenanigans that are actually in Lake Superior, like seeing the Wendigo and the Mishi Pesci, which is an underwater panther with scaly horns. It's a mythical creature that actually is the guardian and the protector of the copper. So there's a lot of minerals like copper and agate and all kinds of different things in these lakes. And it makes me think, not only is this the Great Lakes Triangle, which is like the Bermuda Triangle and the Las Vegas Triangle and other triangles, and there's USOs in the water, which is the underwater submergible objects, and things like the Paulding Lights, which is ball lightning type of stuff that's also at Brown Mountain. I think with all these minerals, why is this happening there? Possibly they want to seed contention there because this could be another land grab. They want this land around this area.
I love
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, again, I think that ties back to Detroit too. Like once cities go bankrupt, once cities become like, you know, places that nobody wants to live, well, guess what? We got Somalians all the way on the Horn of Africa. They're going to take anything they can get over here, and they're going to come you know, there's some sort of a higher hand that's dealing out those bankruptcies. And I want to just add one little thing really quick here, Missy, and I'm not trying to take the floor from you, but it's something is going on with the finance. There's like a reset. Beth mentioned a reset, and then I think there's some sort of financial reset because something's going on with California. They're moving Wells Fargo out of California, okay, setting it up down in Florida. They are also moving out, I think, Walmart out of California and Amazon. They're trying to bankrupt. So I almost wonder, too, if there's something with deflection, false flags, and smoke screens with cover-ups with major financial movement that's going on as well. There's something playing out here that's a little fishy. My spidey senses are up with this. With all of this.
Well, when I track this line going from, and I have to show you my squirrels shirt because Rob always loves my shirt because we're talking about all these war codes. I had to wear squirrels for peace. I thought you'd love that, Rob.
It's cool. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Going from Greenland somewhere, I don't know if it's where that UFO is. I don't know if it's where the Nazi base is. Going through Duluth, somewhere near Las Vegas or Rachel, Nevada, and into the ocean down all the way down to it's either Queensland or somewhere in Australia. I was trying to see that. The other thing that I'm seeing that comes up is you bring up California. I think of Catalina Island, and the reason I think of Catalina Island is they found, like L.A. Marzulli and his group has found a lot of those elongated skulls there. I'm sure you're privy to that knowledge, right, Rob?
Yeah, yeah,
About what's going on.
what's fascinating about Catalina is that's a real hotspot for USOs, probably underwater alien bases and military bases too.
Exactly. So there's something with all these spots that have these different things going on, the USO things, and when you brought up, Beth, about the gin, my hair started to stand up on end, thinking, oh, the rituals they're doing in the hospitals, is this bringing more paranormal activity? And especially if Lake Superior is starting to dark flower. I'm hoping not, but that's what I was kind of getting, because Stargate 2 was dark flowering, and there's a circulation of these waters, which is like the waters in our body, which is like our blood, the way it circulates, or our lymph fluid or cerebral spinal fluid. It's a circulation. So is it bringing up this negative paranormal activity, just like when, because, the ships have gone down, and back to, as far as industry, they don't make anything, because, Detroit used to be a hub for, cars, right? Producing automobiles, the automobile industry, and that's like dried up, and steel. So back in the 1800s, they used to have the ships for, moving steel and copper, and all these metals and things like that. And you also can't forget the Vikings came there long before anybody else did.
Yeah,
The Vikings.
There's a ruin in Alexandria, a Viking ruin, and I forget when it was, like 400 AD or maybe before that.
yeah,
And
right.
the
Like,
ruin
sorry, go
says
ahead.
the ruin says in Norse, it says, we came here, but the spirit of the land was too strong with the people, so we retreat. They got their butts kicked from the Native Americans and went back up the Great Lakes. But there's a cool ruin there.
Yeah, there's a guy named Ron. I've told someone about this the other day. There's a guy named Ron Rodemacher. He runs this website called Michigan Backroads, and he talks about that, how the Vikings came here way before Columbus. But like, what I think is, I think America was fully populated. I think, like, there was, everybody was here. I think there were Africans here, and everything you can think of. I think they're lying to us completely about our history, 120%. You know what I mean?
Well, Pangea, it was all connected, right?
That's
and
what Renetta talked about. Yeah, she felt like all the continents were connected. And yeah, sorry, go ahead, Missy. Yeah.
The North Pole is very important to everything. I got my globe out. Ron, hand me my globe again, so I can show my globe again, like I did the other day, because I like to use the old-fashioned globes and Rand McNally maps.
I want to point something out to you guys too. Just the vertical ley line here. It's very interesting that does run down through the Ozarks in Arkansas, where we did the big, activation and mission there, and the crystal reservoirs. But I also think it's interesting it's coming down through Louisiana. And Rob, you've been picking up on Louisiana like crazy.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Like, you've been talking about Louisiana. And one thing we just recognized the other night, I don't know if you want me to bring this up, but that there is some deep roots and ties to like real vampires down in Louisiana. I don't know,
Yeah.
Rob, you want to expand on that a little bit? Because this is something that
I can't, because of it was someone that can't. I don't want to. I don't think it's. I mean, I don't know if you want me to. I don't know if I should go where you want. I don't know.
Okay.
Because I think it was someone that came on my show, and they looked. I don't know.
I brought that up the other night too. I know when we were talking about vampires and, Saint Germain and all that. There's an aspect to that whole Saint Germain thing that feels very vampiric, because supposedly Saint Germain was Francis Bacon before he ascended and became Saint Germain. And they have all those underground tunnels and everything. But anyway, before the fall, if the earth, I mean, I'm not going to get into flat earth, round earth, donut shaped earth.
It's holographic, right?
Toilet world.
It's
whatever it is, it's Russian nesting dolls. Okay, it's kind of all the above. I mean, I remember Linda Moulton Howe once said that it's the flat universe theory. Everything is flat until you shine light on it, and it becomes like, I like to say it like this: it's a flat dimension. And remember the old pop-up book from when you were a kid? You open that book up, and then it's multi-dimensional. Okay, so you flat earthers or whatever, don't get upset about this, but for this sake, we'll use the globe. Okay, so the globe if we were straight up and down and Polaris was our pole star, when we had the celestial bombardment, as Zechariah Sitchin talks about with the fall of Tiamat and Meldeck and all that stuff, and we are tilted 23 and whatever degrees off, look what happens. Look where Greenland is, and this is where a lot of the ice is still today. A lot of the ice from the last ice age, okay? This ice was originally connected to Minnesota. All this land was connected. I think the heart of everything, not to be egocentric or whatever, was the Americas, and everything split off from there. I feel North America, South, Canada, North America, South America, all this was connected, and everything split from here. Because if you look at the way that it is as a puzzle piece, that's what it looks like to me. And you can see that with this tilt here, Greenland is part of that tilt, and it would make sense with that David Wynn Miller, which, come to think about it, I had heard about that guy, Indy. I just didn't know about the Arctic piece and the Greenland piece. That guy is like talks about masons that go up to like 88-degree masons and all the stuff with maritime law. I remember hearing that guy, but that piece, that's circulating now around the internet. Everybody's bringing up this whole thing about Greenland. But anyway, if that ice was there and all this ice and ice water was connected, it makes sense with the whole, that it's the same water. That water is Lake Superior and all that. So isn't it interesting? Greenland going through area and then down over to either Vegas or Rachel, or maybe it's Catalina Island, and down south.
That's very interesting. So like, just kind of summarize what you're saying, just like, because it is actually a very good point, that the waters are somehow activating as the Hyperborean gate opens up in Greenland, and we're getting these massive fluctuations of energy from Greenland. It's kind of stirring up the old ancient portals and gateways, and that this water is somehow tied to Lake Superior and what's also happening in Minnesota.
And
like
the
this all ties in.
Listen to this. Remember, we had Winter Storm Fern, which ferns are about, when they had the last ice age, the ferns were what was found in the mastodon, the different animals, saber-toothed tiger, whatever those animals were when everything froze all of a sudden. And one person made a great point in the chat that fern, Federal Reserve notes. Yeah, well, guess what? We might be hit with snow tomorrow in the South, not just Western North Carolina, but South Carolina, the beach, again, with a storm, hurricane type of storm. They call it the thunder snowstorm. Thunder, god of thunder, snowstorm is coming, Gianna. And in Italian, it's Italian name from the Bible that means God is gracious or Yahweh is gracious. Wow. Isn't it interesting? ICE, immigration, customs enforcement, and the ice. This whole thing, the polarization, the ice age, the pole star, the pole shift, and look at Rob's. I like that. Isn't that cute? And why is everybody seeing the aurora borealis? I mean, I'm seeing it a lot. It's strange.
Because our geomagnetical field is way the hell down, and it's not protecting the Earth from the rays, is my understanding.
I think it also ties into New Earth prophecy as well. I mean, the Aurora Guardians, the Aurora Host, I mean, it is also what will tie in and bring through the seventh root race to the New Earth. So, I mean, I think the fluctuations are divine on a lot of levels as well. I mean, I think, what we're seeing in Minnesota, like, yeah, these are some hard energies. And do I feel this is a direct extension to SS10? Yes. What I think is happening is the spike matrix is creating extension arms. Like as if there's like a giant spider or something, right? Like an AI black spider. And it's creating these arms that are able to dislocate and worm and hook themselves and parasitize themselves into other places and create other extension arms. And it builds a artificial
Network.
matrix by expanding and integrating. But so yeah, I think this is like Satanism, Luciferianism, Saturn worship. This I think directly ties into the Wisa system, the black hole system, Abaddon, like all of like this all. And I think that we are watching evil. We're literally watching evil expose itself and dissolve itself at the same time. But like I think that this is what the fight is about is, people don't like to get shown up or told out or exposed for things, and so when light shines on something, that's where you see all the rats scattered. And that's what we're kind of watching. We're watching that play out, and we just can't recognize it because we can't get past our own humanism in a lot of ways. But I mean, the shifts are just astronomical. I think these are massive quantum jumps on some level because I think these black holes eventually do, dissolve themselves. But they rip open, but they eventually dissolve. They only have certain like amount of lifespans on them. Black holes, and they don't last forever. And that's really how they're getting in. It's through black hole tunneling devices and things like this. What we need to do is do a massive Gridwork evaluation and like go in there and clear out the Satanism and like the black. We need to like energetically pray over that and meditate and speak to that energy specifically. Work on the holographic architecture of it. Yeah.
If you got some warriors, that would be awesome.
Yeah, we need to do it. Missy, I want to
But-
know too, what do you think about this whole like connection here and you too, Beth? Like, what do you guys pick up on? And you too, Rob, like everybody, what do you pick up on with like this whole triangulated energy and like these Somalian
Let me
places down
look at
here?
the map. Is there a map that you're looking at? Okay, good. Let me look at the map here. Yeah,
A triangle is always symbolic for change.
yeah.
Black cube thing, I don't know, those are weird pin markers. Black cubes.
Yeah,
not-
that's why I did black cubes because it's all black cube worship.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're just creating change with the triangular. They're all hooked. But yeah, if you look it up, I'm gonna do a symbol like that.
So I think we have
But the
energy
symbol
tying
of triangles change.
into the US from Berbera, Somalia, Basaso, commerce hub of Somalia. I mean, this is where we know all the piratism, like Captain Phillips. Like I've watched that movie twice. I don't know about you guys, but like it's pretty intense.
We know
Captain
the
Phillips?
Somali guy that played that. He's from Minnesota.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my gosh.
Yeah, we
Well,
know him.
and look what's right there. There's a river there. So I'm thinking like, other rivers like, the Gaza. I'm thinking of like the Panama Canal. And I'm thinking anytime there's a river, these places were very important in the past because that was, for shipping and receiving and trafficking of anything. And bog bodies in these rivers from the trafficking and the death cult and their sacrificial things that they do. Let's shine the bigger map so we see. I want to see more of it.
Oh,
Indy.
okay. I'll show that. Can I just want to show you one thing really quick, Missy?
Yeah.
This is the Rift map. Oh, I don't have but do you see this triangle here, like right in Somalia? That is the largest opening into the rift, into the African Rift. It's right there in Somalia.
Wow.
And so I find that like very interesting as well, that this is there's a name for it. It's called the triple bypass or something, triple something. Not by, a far triple junction. I'm sorry, a far triple junction. Yeah, this is the opening point. So yeah.
And above is Yemen and below it is Ethiopia, which makes me think of the Coptic Christians came from Ethiopia, if you know anything about them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They have their own version of Christianity. It's
Don't they supposedly hold the Ark of the Covenant, Missy?
Huh?
Or isn't that those? And don't they supposedly hold the Ark of the Covenant, the Coptic Christians in
I think they
Ethiopia?
could. I don't know. I think there's more than one. Then, according to Oceana Dean, it's something else entirely. I think there's replicas. There may be one in Mar-a-Lago, a replica of the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah. And is it really the replica? Because as far as I've heard, that thing looks pretty real, and it has like some sort of inscription from Moses inside of it.
There's
So,
something going on in Mar-a-Lago. I'm going to go down there again and check it out again because I felt some kind of frequency when I was there. I'm telling you, you feel something when you're there. Haven't quite decided what it is, but there's a power for sure. There's some kind of power.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Mar-a-Lago housewives, it's like the rich of the rich, the elite of the elite. Like it's definitely some sort of an achrome type of, it's like achrome, like you're surrounded like people that are on that, you
Yeah, absolutely.
know? So it creates some sort of like it is some sort of adrenaline field that you're tapping into. And
Yes,
it gives you like mimicry rushes, and like it like
it does.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly what it does. Yep. Yep. What's the you got to make this bigger to the where it says right under Stargate 10 and you've got the marker there. Where's that?
That's Abadan. That's Stargate 10.
Oh, no wonder. Ooh, chills on
Yeah.
that.
Yes. And this is the Kaaba,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is we know this is all governed by SS10. So yeah, I don't know. Something just made me look at this and put the twinning capitals, from
Yeah.
St. Paul to Mogadishu. And then like she's saying there's a little Mogadishu, which is a mirror node in Cedar Riverside, Minneapolis. And I think the Riverside one functions as a diaspora receiver and transmitter. So there's some sort of diaspora codes that are running with this. There's something with like also commerce, like the commerce from Carmel Mall area in Minneapolis. Now, Beth might know about this, but there's something with that. Um, it's the economic and community hub for Somalian Minnesotans, and it's where the most impacted crackdown is occurring. Carmel Mall,
Yeah,
Minneapolis.
it's like an indoor shopping center where all the Somalians have their their food and their wares, and it's all Somalian speaking. Everything's written in Somalian, but you can get good food down there. But it's entirely a few people that aren't Somalian will go there once in a while, but you have to know somebody in order to be able to come in without getting hurt.
Wow,
So
Without getting hurt.
yeah, you can't just walk in there.
that's insane. That's a
Especially a
part of
woman.
America. Like that's a
I would
part of
have to
America.
cover.
Sounds
That's
like the
insane.
no-go zones over in the UK.
It is, and we try to respect the no-go zones because, you don't.
Oh
And
Yeah, but
no.
I
they're
think
polite
that
when they come
shouldn't.
out.
I don't think that should even be in America. Like,
Did you know they get
no?
driver's license? That they get a driver's license, even non-citizens here in the United States, they feel it's not, or in Minnesota, they get driver's license in order to drive cars because they want them to be able to drive around the city. And with there's a whole bunch. It's very corrupt. We had 300,000 Somalians total so far. And the city of St. Paul, Minneapolis is not that, I mean, it's probably 50% of one of the cities, or 45% maybe. But anyway, I'm saying that they can vote. And they do.
Well, and is that how Ilhan got into Congress then?
Yeah. She had
Okay.
people going around, she paid people, they had suitcases of money and a bunch of voting papers, and they went door to door. The elder Somalians said they were scared because these people just showed up and said, sign this and here's money. And so they signed their vote and they felt bullied. They were going door to door, and all the older Somalians are like, I don't feel comfortable doing that, but they felt intimidated. So they gave them money and signed who the Somalians wanted to win. They
Wow,
went door to
that's
door.
insane.
There's a big investigation that's not made up, but nothing happens, of course.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
questioning. I was like, how does someone like her even get in office? You know what I mean? I
We
don't
have
think she
Keith
has any-
Ellison, our whole jurisdiction is fully in on the take.
Yeah,
It has to come from outside to clean this up.
yeah.
Beth, looking at this map here, what part of Minneapolis is this? Is it like, when you look at Minneapolis, where is this stuff taking place on this map?
Make it a little bigger. Can you scroll in?
'Cause what I'm looking at is this snake-like
You want me to scroll into a
greenery.
specific area? I mean, I was guided to put the mall, like this happening at the mall.
Oh, yeah.
St.
Yeah,
St.
and then St.
Paul.
Paul, that's where the state capitol is, and that's
Okay,
where
that's
they did the
Capitol, right.
satanic ritual. I don't know where Riverside is,
Cedar
but that's
Riverside's
all.
right here.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's right. That's it. That's
So
where
yeah,
everything's
this
going
is
on.
little Mogadishu, little Somalian capital of Minneapolis.
And that's fine. We're fine. They're neighbors. I live in Minneapolis.
Yeah, you live there.
It's
Yeah, but,
fine.
I mean,
I'm
You know
happy.
what it is though? It's like I don't know, like yeah. Because it's like when they start electing like officials, I mean, she made it all the way to Congress.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, this is how your country is taken over. That's how it happens, is eventually enough people from other places that don't have the same culture, American culture or American values, they build their infrastructure into our governance.
And
And
most of them are having 8 to 10 kids too. I mean, where we only have like 2 kids because we can't afford it. I was a nurse for somebody and that was their 10th child. And I go, how can you afford 10 kids?
yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
but this goes back to Islam. This goes back to the
Yeah.
ideology of that and the
Go
breeding
forth and
protocols
prosper.
that the women are under. The women are under a forced breeder program.
Yeah, they are. They are. I love the women that come in and they're working and they're talking, they're happy, but then the men come in and it's just like fear. They're afraid and don't look at anybody.
yeah,
Wow.
It's really sad.
that is.
Well, yeah, their consciousness is so beaten down. I mean, they're practically invisible. I mean, could you, I mean, you're living in like a consciousness cage. You're controlled by the masculine, completely every aspect of your life.
Absolutely.
You're not allowed to
Understood.
really gain knowledge. You're not really allowed to talk to anybody else. You have to rely on them for money and transportation. It's the way that they program. It's patriarchal domination and control program.
Abuse. Yeah.
Yeah.
In my eyes, my judging
Yeah.
another culture, it's abusive in my perspective, but
I agree. I agree. It is. It's very. It's they really subjugate women. It's horrible.
and
Mm.
every church, like at our hospital, we have it's been opened up for all religions. It was a church, and now it's mostly 5 times a day. You can sit in there in prayer when they're praying to the east, but we have carpets for them, and they come in and do their prayers. I still sit in there to do my prayers, but it's just I guess what I'm saying is that whatever being they're praying to is collecting their loosh because they do it like 5 times a day. This being needs to be charged, and then they go counterclockwise around Mecca to touch
Well, let
the
me
black
tell you what
cube.
they're feeding. They're praying to an idol. The one thing that they oppose, which is idol worship, they're praying to an idol. They're praying in the direction of the black cube of Saturn.
Yep.
And they're like simulating the anti-clockwise. It's an electrical black sun current. It's the black sun agenda. So they're drawing all the black sun frequency up and utilize it's the biggest when we want to talk about satanic ritual abuse, that is the largest satanic ritual happening on the planet 24/7. Aren't they walking around? I mean, do they ever sleep or is that
All the
open
time.
24 hours a day? That's
Never
yeah.
stops.
Yeah, never
It's
stop.
the dark side of Catholicism too, because it was created by Catholicism as a counter religion,
Yeah,
Islam.
it's true. It is. Yeah.
Yes, yep.
No wonder if there's
I always
black goo
say,
in their cube. I'm sorry, I was going to say, do you think that cube might have a little bit of black goo in it?
Probably.
100%. Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
Now,
I mean,
what's the greenery, that line, like that green spot? What is that? Where it's
We
like
have a
all this.
lot of, oh, that's a river.
Mississippi
Is that the
River.
river there? All this
Yeah,
is a,
that's a river.
okay.
Oh, wow.
That goes right through, eh?
Sure does, eh?
Wow.
Gotta talk like my Canadian brothers.
You know what? Maybe let's just tap into the Kaba here for just a minute and let's see if maybe will we pick up on? I don't know. I just felt guided to go over and look when you said there's black cube around the Kaba or black. Yeah, let's look if I can get over there. Oh man, I need to go way out. I'm sorry. I'm slow.
Yeah, this map's kind of giving me motion sickness, honestly. I don't know.
I, okay, we'll get off it in just a second. Let me go to the. We'll just go faster.
Just close your eyes, Rob.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the peoples. All
Yeah,
going
but you know,
counterclockwise.
the Jews pray to this as well, right? It's
No, I don't
No.
think they do. They do the
Oh.
wall.
They could never set foot here.
They'd be killed.
They'd be annihilated.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, this is in Mecca, right? This is the Black Cube. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Tap into that.
Wow.
Well, you
Yeah.
know, all Abrahamic religions were created by the Anunnaki. You know, is Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. So they're all a problem in my mind. You know, it's just Islam's pretty wicked. You know, and that's
I
not.
think they're going to combine all religions. I think they're going to combine all the Abrahamic religions. They're going to try to real soon here. That's the plan anyway. One world religion.
One world religion order. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. That's the goal. Yeah. I mean, when I tune into this, honestly, I hear obviously I hear a lot of footsteps. I hear chains rattling, like a lot of like slavery. Like I'm getting like the whole Atlantic slave trade goes back to this. I'm getting like yeah, like all the chains of human slavery. I can feel them and hear them almost like rolling across the pavement. A lot of grief, a lot of screaming, like
I
sweat.
get Gladiator Hunger Games too.
Oh yeah. A lot of this is like it's like the inverted root of the masculine's root chakra. It's like there's some sort of gaping like implant in here that ties and binds the inversion of that in here. A lot of sexual energy, a lot of homosexual energy. It almost feels like the homosexuality is like louder. It's buzzing. It's like a homo field.
I guess it's not homosexual. If you have, I guess they have a rule. It's not homosexual if you're with a child before pubescence, if it's a male.
That's so disgusting. It's so.
Yeah, that's a good rule. That's okay though.
Oh man.
It's like that Sodom and Gomorrah story.
Yeah.
But it also feels like with that Sodom and Gomorrah story, you know how if you look back, the pillar of salt, which is like a nuclear thing, like nuclear war codes.
Yeah.
Ew, yuck.
Mhm.
Ugh.
So how to counter this? What are the plans to bring about peace, unity, getting rid of that black heart syndrome? Like what can we do for others? If you notice that they have that black heart syndrome that you're talking about,
Yeah.
I mean, what can we do can't we all just get along? Me and Rodney King. But
Yeah.
I just really want this unity, but also but not to bury it either. I want all this.
I hope we're not too
flushed.
far gone. I feel like I feel like society is so
It
far
might
gone that
be.
it's like, I
It
don't,
might be,
you know.
Yeah.
but I'm
You
always
know,
hopeful.
okay, we let 25 million immigrants in the country and a lot of people set up shop here. Okay, maybe there needs to be a little acceptance about where we are, and then maybe try to continue to enforce the rules going forward, but maybe, because it does seem like there's a lot of backtracking of trying to correct, maybe there's too much overcorrection, and maybe what would swing us back is just kind of get into a space of acceptance, on all sides. We all have to kind of accept what has happened. I mean, everybody's upset on all sides. We're all dealing with hurt and confusion and misunderstanding and anger, righteous anger, but I think like it kind of goes back to Charlie Kirk in a way. He says, like, if we stop talking to the other side and we close that door down, it becomes easier to become violent towards one another and to see each other as less than. So I think we got to keep the conversations open with one another. We got to continue to, not close ourselves off to opposing viewpoints and keep trying to have those conversations. And again, if you hear people out here doing some of this crazy stuff, like try to talk some sense into them. But yeah, I mean, do we know what the antidote is for hatred? Do we know what that is? I mean,
I just thought love or starvation. Either starve them of their things that they're feeding the hate, or
Yeah.
yeah.
But also, don't love that people when people do evil things, but you could send them love and hope that they find the truth and see the truth and see what they're doing wrong. And if we're doing anything wrong, let it be shown that we're doing whatever wrong. Just, I think truth and love are and open dialogue are the remedies for hate.
But then it's like, you're dealing with reptilians too. I mean, you can't seduce a reptilian with love. I
No.
mean, it's like,
You'll smile and you'll starve a reptilian. If you smile, you starve a reptilian. Just remember that.
Yeah, someone said that the other day. Like, wait, who said that? They were on my
I
show.
saw it on a podcast. I can't even tell
Yeah,
you.
no, they were just on my show. That's so crazy. I can't remember who it was. Like,
Oh, is that dude that he wrote a book or something?
oh, Tony Sayers. It was Tony.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
he said
Tony
that.
Sayers. Yeah,
Sorry, Tony. I'm bad with names.
I can't believe I forgot. It's because I do so many shows, I forget. Well, this was a great show. We went about 2 hours. Does everybody want to? Any final words, Indy? Do you have any final words? And yeah.
I agree. This was a really good conversation. It's one that's been needing to have been had, I think, for sure. So it was really good to touch bases with everyone. And Beth, that's amazing that you're boots on the ground. So thanks for bringing in your insight. I think that was really helpful and good for everyone to hear.
Thank you.
And yeah, Missy, you brought in some really good stuff as well. And Rob, you do all the time too. You're
Yeah.
so smart and you always bring in good stuff. And so this was just, we needed to talk about this. I think this might be an ongoing thing. Like Beth kind of said, like you're predicting this isn't just going to go away. This is going to continue to kind of, we might see something,
As it gets
happen.
warmer in Minnesota, the people will come out. It's cold now.
Yeah. And I mean, we'll maybe put together a grid worker mission and, definitely prayers. Minnesota needs prayers. They need, send lots of love and healing and, just try to do some clearing of that
I
satanic
think you should
energy.
honestly, Indy, I think you should really do a grid worker mission. I mean, it's been, I think you should
It's been a
definitely do that.
while. Yeah. I haven't been doing them because I went through the whole thing I went through in 2025. So I wasn't able to do as much stuff. So I kind of stopped doing some stuff, but I probably will again. Once my book comes out and I get that, it's like one thing at a time. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna get there
Yeah.
for sure.
Well,
I'll learn how to I'll learn how to do grid work and start ripping it here in Minnesota. I have to figure out how to do it first, so.
Yes,
I'll-
you're there. You're
Yeah,
there.
I could do something, but we'll talk later. I'll try to figure out
Okay.
how to do it without blowing
Yeah.
myself up.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've had the pull. Now I want to see Lake Superior after doing all this research there.
You
Because
want
I've
to
never-
Lake Superior?
I want to see Lake Superior because I've never been there.
Oh, it's a 2-hour drive. I can go up there. I have a cabin not too far. Live stream it.
Beautiful. It's really beautiful. Cold water, but beautiful. It's, to me, it's interesting that people can go surfing there and that there's like storms there, even, and this is like a freshwater ocean in a way.
25-mile wave or 25-foot waves that mile we had last week.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's,
Waves?
maybe 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 25-foot waves on Superior, and I think Erie had them too, Lake Erie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I never
You
knew
could have
that.
gone surfing.
you can go surfing in the freshwater, but you definitely gotta wear a full body wetsuit.
Yeah.
You're
Watch
freezing with
restaurants.
that one.
Yeah.
California, that's for sure. Who's going to get some of this weather? Are you getting? I don't think Pensacola's going to get it. Rob, are you getting this one too? I haven't looked at your weather.
I hope not. I mean, we already got like 2 feet of snow here. It's a nightmare. You can't even go outside. I was telling Indy last night. I was like, I can't even go outside like for like 5 minutes, and like my hands. Unless you, I mean, you have to like wear triple layers. You have to wear, wool socks, wool gloves. You know what I mean? You have to really be prepared for this. If you don't, and you go out in this, and for a long period of time, you will lose your fingers, or maybe something worse. I've heard people dying, like of hypothermia. Like it's like it's really dangerous.
Today,
My oh, sorry, Missy. I'll just tell you, my thermometer right now, my computer says 3 degrees.
Oh, 3. I looked at it earlier today. It said 11 degrees. So
Oh, that's warm. You guys are so lucky. I got above 0 today. We're at 1. That's the high.
Whoa,
Negative 17.
Beth, what's the wind chill like there? Because I know that's
It's not
a big
bad, but it was negative 65 3 days ago.
Holy shit, that's insane.
Run with your eyes
Holy
closed into work. Just freaking just run. So your eyes
Whoa.
open.
it's cold where you are, Indy, too. I think it's going to be in the 20s.
Is it?
I think it's going to get.
Yeah, I don't like those days very much. Like I have to put a jacket on. Yeah.
I'd have to put shorts on. I put shorts on in 20.
Oh, do you really? Oh my, yeah. Oh man, girl. I'd be the first person to get hypothermia up there.
Sorry.
Yeah, I would not do so well.
Like,
I have to stay warm.
I didn't realize how much worse the Great Lakes got it like than us. I thought it was bad here, but you guys get it way worse than us. I mean, the coldest, right? It's like, wow. It's yeah. I don't know. I don't like this weather at all, though. I really don't.
Hell has frozen over in Minnesota. That's what we could say.
Well, okay, let me ask Missy Beth this, because me and Indy talked about this too. Do you guys think we're going through like a mini ice age or like a global cooling? You know how they're trying to always push global warming? It seems like we might be going through a global cooling. What do you guys think?
I think just shift.
Mhm.
I think that things are shifting. Cold's going to be warm, warm's going to be cold. Not sudden, but I think we're in for some change, though. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that too. I think it's if they tell you it's warming, it's cooling, because it's like when you freeze ice cubes, you use hot water to freeze the ice cubes. So the warm water is causing the cooling with the Gulf Stream and all this stuff. It's when the warm air meets the cool air that this because the oceans are warming up. So then that causes this bizarre weather. And then, of course, we know they're making the weather too.
Absolutely.
It's the Truman Show, and they're, he's in the boat, and they're doing the weather, and we have to.
I saw that girl on TikTok. She burnt a couple people were burning the snow, and they were getting black snow, and it smelled like plastic. So what I've thought is, I think that's from wherever they're spraying, and people are getting different kind of snow. Because I don't have that here. I burnt some of the snow, and I didn't get that. Like I got normal snow. But people
Right.
are getting like the burnt snow or not burnt. It burns black and it smells like plastic. They say,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah. And this is complete change of subject, but you guys heard about this Nipah virus?
Yes, you said that.
I sent that to you. The Nipah virus is going down in India. A couple people have had it. They're thinking they quarantined it to 20 people now, but they're panicking like global.
What is it? Indy?
It's some sort of virus that comes from the fruit flies. There's no cure for it. the death rate is 40 to 75%. It starts out like a flu, turns into like a pneumonia, and then you get encephalitis, inflammation of the brain, and it's
Wow. They
yeah,
really made a good one this time, didn't they? That's pretty good. Good on the scientists.
Oh,
They want to roll out another jab plan, sounds like.
Yeah.
I hope it
Yeah.
doesn't come here. I hope to God it does not come here. I hope we don't have to deal with that. I don't want to deal with another. I don't want to be quarantined again. I don't want to be stuck in my house again. I don't want to go through that again. I really do not want to go through that again. I refuse to go.
We won't go through it again. Nobody will. We're not going to do it.
Yeah, I hope not. Right?
It's
yeah.
weird. I saw a black mask on the ground today when I was out. I haven't seen one of those masks in a long time, and it was black, and I'm like, ew.
Oh, I hated masks. I hate. Oh my God. Yeah, that was.
Ugh.
Wow. This has been such a good conversation tonight. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming and joining us. We really appreciate it. And thank you everyone watching.
Yeah. And does anybody have any final words? Anybody want Missy, Beth, and anybody want to say anything or promote anything? Anybody can go, or however you guys want to do it.
Thank you for letting me, just your average everyday person, come on and talk about what's going on the ground. And I appreciate you guys. And I just really think,
Well, I just say, Beth,
through it.
for people that don't know you, you've been on my show before. You've had an amazing contact experience. You know, you've been taking a board of crafts. So, like, people go check out that episode with Beth. She's been on the show before, and she has an amazing contact story. Yeah.
And I got taken Wednesday too. That's another story. That was on my way home from work. But let's stop there. It hasn't stopped apparently. Sucks. I'm like, thanks for. They brought me back. I didn't know where I was. I was driving the same path I drive every day, and I saw a ship, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And all of a sudden I got blasted back in my body, and I'm like, where am I? It's the same road I'm on every day driving home from work. I got lost. I felt myself get shifted into my body twice.
Wow.
Sorry, I had to tell that. That was weird. But yeah, but thank you guys. Just keep me in the loop. Let me know how I can be a little grid worker. I have nothing to promote. Love you guys.
Missy, do you want to promote anything? Or
You just promote me, I've just email me, Hill, Hill, Night, Nite, Vision, VISION @gmail.com, hillnightvision @gmail.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, but nothing happens on X. And right now I'm just hunkering down to see what happens.
yeah, I
Wait
agree.
and see if we wake up, we have some snow tomorrow.
I hope not. And Indy, do you want to promote anything, or you want to?
Yeah, well, everyone watching, you can catch me on the Typical Skeptic podcast every once to twice a week, and you can also subscribe on my channel at Indigo Angel on YouTube. You can also find me at my website at indigoangel222.com, where you can purchase my new book, which is for pre-order. It's going to be coming out February 22nd, 2026. And also my education platform at learn.indigoangel222.com, where I have gridworker courses, implant and seal removal courses, feminine healing, womb healing courses, everything that you could be possibly looking for. If you want to come learn with me, you can find me there. And yeah, thank you, Rob, for letting me have the floor. And how can people find you in other places, Rob, or donate to the channel if they feel like they're appreciating this content?
Yeah, all the links are in the description. And but follow me on YouTube, follow me on Rumble, follow me on Spotify, follow me on Instagram and Facebook and X. I'm trying to build up my X a little bit, but and yeah, I'm trying to think of where else. There's a Typical Skeptic podcast Reddit page, guys. There's a Typical Skeptic podcast Discord group. There's a Telegram group. You can join all those for free. You can join Patreon and support me monthly if you want, or you can just donate to the channel, and that's about it. Yeah. And thank you, everyone. This was awesome. I thought this was really good. This was a really good show. And we had like 70 people watching, plus whatever on Rumble. So we had over 100 people watching it. I think that's pretty good.
Let's go. Put a like on this video, you guys. We love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And follow all these people on their social media, all these women, these beautiful women. And thank you, ladies. And everybody have a good